for watching. See you next week when Eric Burns will be back here.
On top from Fox, Charley sure knows how to make an impression. This pain is going to last for a long, long time. The dead, the missing, the powerless, the homeless. What Charley's already done and what he still has in store for people up and down the eastern seaboard. We've got the details as Fox reports right now. Picking up the pieces after the monster hit. Hurricane Charley and its 145-mile-per-hour winds flattening countless homes and businesses all across Florida.
Every single mobile home, house, car has had some kind of impact on this from this Hurricane Charley.
Thousands of people losing everything.
These are people's lives. These are homes.
Go look in the house. There's nothing left. It's all underwater, man.
The devastation, conjuring up images of Hurricane Andrew a dozen years ago.
It may not be, to the level of Andrew, but it's damn close.
President Bush declaring a major disaster area in Florida, set to survey the damage for himself. Folks in Lee and Charlotte counties picking up the pieces, trying to rebuild, while Charley moves on, as Fox reports right now.
Covering the globe, fair and balanced. News at the speed of live. From New York, this is the Fox Report with Rick Fulbaum.
Look at and listen to what Charley has done in Florida. At least 15 people are dead, hundreds of people missing. Thousands of people are homeless with no electricity. Charley is now officially the worst hurricane to hit Florida since Hurricane Andrew. The town of Punta Gorda, a ground zero of sorts for a little while anyway, for long enough to the people who live there and who took a direct hit. 15,000 people in Punta Gorda, all of them stunned by Category 4 storm that was supposed to come ashore much further on up north. Dozens of trailer parks have major damage, many homes leveled to virtually nothing. Many stronger, seemingly more solid structures, not a match for Charley either. Roofs blown off of apartment complexes. Businesses totally devastated. Even trucks and power lines lifted up and tossed around.
Our worst fears have come true, and my heart goes out to people that right now are homeless, are scared.
But Charley didn't quit there. It crossed Florida, went back out to sea, and hit land again in South Carolina. Now, folks all the way up the East Coast are bracing for whatever punch Charley still has left. We have live Team Fox coverage on Charley. Don Morelli is live at the Weather Center. But first, let's check in with Shepard Smith in a Fox report live from Punta Gorda, Florida. Shep.
Rick, Punta Gorda now trying to recover from this thing. I'm on what amounts to Main Street. It's Marion Avenue here. The great news is these buildings are still standing. They've been here a while, good construction. Even the glass along the front is still there. Hard to imagine, really, when you figure this was a Category 4, the strongest wind recorded here in Punta Gorda, 126 miles an hour. The good news was the eye of the storm was very small, about 5 to 8 miles, and the winds moved along quickly. It was whipping through this area at about 20 miles an hour, so it didn't have time to sit and spin. But it did lots of damage, and here in Charlotte County from the air you can see the extent of it. Mostly not mobile homes, but prefabricated homes. People who grew up and worked their lives in the north and then moved down here, middle-class folks who came and bought prefab homes and have settled. They knew over the years that when the warnings come and the evacuation orders are issued, they have to get out of here. Most of them did. All of them did not. And the question is, how high is the death toll? We're expecting to find out sometime tomorrow from emergency management officials. Down south of here in Lee County along Sanibel Island, that was the first island on the southwest Florida coast to get touched by the eye wall. It was skirted just for a matter of a few minutes along with its neighbor Captiva Island. The damage, as you can see, is extensive, but no loss of life on either Sanibel or Captiva Islands. Beautiful and nature preserve there, some of the best shelling in the world. Protected sea turtles there and that huge nature preserve. And in addition, Fort Myers Beach, which is right next door. A lot of residential there and certainly tourists as well. They were told to evacuate very early, some 24 hours before the storm came ashore. most everyone on Fort Myers Beach got off, and tonight we're told that no one is allowed on or off that island. For the vast majority of Southwest Florida, there is no power. Stores, the ones that are open on emergency power. There's no ice to be had, and as a result, federal officials and the National Guard will be bringing in pounds and tons of supplies. 3 tons of ice on the way, 2.5 tons of water on the way. The shelters are said to be filled at this hour, but we're told that they can handle as many as they want. So many lessons learned here from Hurricane Fran and especially Hurricane Andrew, which hit South Florida in 1992. Then it was very difficult to get water, even help down there. There was looting in large numbers, and FEMA couldn't get in. That has not been the case here. The National Guard was mobilized early. Federal authorities are already here. The governor has already toured the state, and as you mentioned, the president, his brother, will be here tomorrow. We're expecting that to come sometime in the morning. His advance folks have already been here, and there is some degree of speculation that the reason we haven't heard yet about the death toll here in Charlotte County is because they're waiting for those politicians to get their work done first, and then the grim reality of what happened here may set in. The very good guess is that the next time folks in this area are told you must evacuate, a storm is heading in, that many more of them will. An update at the bottom of the hour. First, though, Rick, back to you.
You know, Shep, we talked about the hundreds of people who are still missing. I hate to think what might be of those people. Exactly what is being done to try to track these people down, to find out what kind of condition they're in, and do we have any idea, are they all from the same area, or are these people spread out across that county?
A number of different mobile home or manufactured home areas, Rick. And the truth of the matter is, we get the sense that they have a much better idea of the loss of life than they're willing to admit at this point. There are a lot of things that has to happen before they can tell us. Next of kin have to be notified. They have to make sure everyone is identified properly. Here's the grim reality. They've brought in teams from the federal government, 25 people to serve as a sort of makeshift morgue. We've seen on semi-tractor trailers, refrigerated trucks come in. The hope is that the loss of life was minimal. The reality is they haven't been hit by a major storm here in 44 years. People had stopped listening as well as they should and had evacuated so many times without taking a bad storm that this time the fear is many didn't.
Shepard Smith on the ground there in Florida. We'll be checking back with Shep, as he mentioned, coming up at the bottom of the hour. Hurricane Charley, a hurricane no more officially. You can call it Tropical Storm Charley now. The storm nowhere near as threatening as it was just 24 hours ago. Its maximum winds are less than half of what they were yesterday when the hurricane slammed into the Gulf Coast of Florida. But forecasters say Charley will continue to pack quite a punch as it moves on north. Meteorologist Don Morelli with the Fox Report now live from the Fox Weather Center. Don.
Hey, Rick. Well, you mentioned that the winds are about half as strong as they were 24 hours ago. They're still quite strong. Sustained winds of 60 miles an hour. Here is the action right now, moving across the Carolinas, and now it's just moved across the North Carolina border, just northwest of Norfolk and southeastern areas of Virginia. So again, the storm continues to move northward. Here in New York City, the rain has been developing and moving over the area the past couple of hours. It'll only get heavy overnight tonight. We have a tropical storm warning in effect from all the area north of Virginia, all the way up towards the northeast to portions of New England. And again, the area of concern is winds of 38 miles an hour or stronger. That's the warning for tropical storm warning. But again, we're expecting mainly rains and heavy rains, and the system is moving so quickly to the north that it is really going to be saying goodbye to the United States in about 18 hours. So here's the forecast. Again, by next few hours, it'll be moving over the Chesapeake Bay area, maybe skirting along the coastline. And by 2 a.m., it's forecasted to be just over New York City, western western areas of Long Island, that is. But again, it might tend towards the east just a bit. So the heavy activity over in New York City by sunrise, if not the pre-dawn hours, moving across the Boston area, eastern New England, and out to the Gulf of Maine by afternoon. So again, we will finally say goodbye to Charley, but does look like the activity in the tropics does continue, Rick. We have a couple more storms, and Janice Dean will be back at the bottom of the hour to fill you in on those storms. But again, we are watching well, what was once a major Cat 4 Hurricane Charley overnight tonight, affecting New York City and eventually Boston, but then thankfully going out to sea. Rick?
Don Morelli at the Weather Center. Thank you, Don. President Bush, as Shep said, on the way to Florida. He has declared that area a major disaster area. Now, that means that a lot of the victims of this storm will be eligible for grants. This is money that will cover the cost of home repairs, temporary housing in the meantime. They'll also be able to apply, these people, the victims, for low-cost loans to cover any uninsured property. Local governments will only have to pay for about 25% of the debris removal. And now President Bush is planning to see for himself the destruction that Charley has caused. Julie Kurtz with a Fox report for us now live from Washington. Julie.
Hi, Rick. That's right. The president announced a quick response to Hurricane Charley. He'll tour Florida himself on Sunday. His aides say he wants to take a first-hand look at the damage and make sure the people hit by the hurricane are getting the help they need. The president will fly into Tampa in the morning. The White House says his visit will not interfere with relief efforts. He is adding the Florida stop, which happens to be a key state for his campaign, onto a 5-day campaign trip through the West.
Just want them to know that our federal government is responding quickly. We have got aid stations in place. FEMA federal officials are on the ground working with state and local officials. Many lives have been affected by this hurricane, and I know you join me in sending our prayers to those people who look for solace and help.
For FEMA, this is a time for damage assessment and search and rescue. Tedious and dangerous work. FEMA is sending boxes and boxes of supplies from its staging area south of Atlanta, Georgia. Water, ice, cots, blankets, and much more. Dozens of packed tractor trailers ready to go for days. Federal teams were already on the ground in Florida. They're working now to find out what areas need the most help. The president of the Red Cross tells us this is the largest disaster relief effort since 9/11. As of Saturday, for example, Saturday afternoon, 49,000 meals had been served to hurricane victims. We've spoken to both Red Cross and FEMA officials. No solid numbers out of Washington at this time on the death toll from Charley. Local officials say they expect it to rise. Also, FEMA says they want to get the message out to migrant and undocumented workers in Florida who might hesitate to contact the government. Federal officials urging them to come forward for shelter, food, and other help. Rick?
Julie Kurtz with some important messages. Julie, thank you very much. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, we're going to have a full report from our White House correspondent, James Rosen. James is traveling with the president. John Kerry's campaign, though, also weighing in on the devastation in Florida. Senator Kerry taking a break from campaigning in Minnesota, offering his sympathy to the people affected, and also some encouragement for his election rival.
Obviously, I support President Bush in the emergency declaration and provision, and the governor of the state. Teresa and I are really thinking about those folks, and our prayers and our thoughts are with them in the next hours.
Kerry says that he's instructed all of his campaign workers in the state of Florida to turn their attention to the relief effort and to provide whatever support they can. Coming up, what were you doing 1 year ago today? Well, if you live in the Northeast or the Midwest, you were probably reading by candlelight, hot and bothered with no AC and fumbling around in the dark. Coming up, a look back at the biggest power outage in U.S. history. Efforts to stop the violence in Najaf pretty much done, kaput. Talks hitting another dead end after more defiance from the Shiite cleric Muqtada al-Sadr. And the many faces of Hurricane Charley, powerful, deadly, unpredictable. Much more on the damage and the recovery to come as Fox reports tonight. From the Fox News Hub in New York City and Fox News teams in Florida and around the globe, this is news at the speed of live. This is the Saturday Night Fox Report on Fox News Channel.
The captioning for this program is brought to you by...
With you every step of the way, the Meineke Lifetime Muffler. Meineke, right service, right price.
How do you invest to help secure your retirement? You start with your dreams and Edward Jones.
My life, my world, it all begins with a dream.
Edward Jones.
Imagine combining the stain-fighting power of Efferdent and freshening power of Listerine. You'd get Efferdent Plus. It's extra fresh, and nothing gets your dentures cleaner. Efferdent Clean, Listerine Fresh. That's Efferdent Plus.
This is my car. So beat up. Please help me make over my car.
We got your tape. We're going to fix your bucket. You ready? Check this out. but we fixed your bucket, didn't we, guys?
Toyota Corolla XRS. You won't even recognize it.
At Florida's Natural, we're a small co-op of growers who own the land, the trees, and the company. So our premium orange juice is made just from our fresh oranges, not from concentrate. Florida's Natural. It's as close to the Grove as you can get.
Start the day with a splash. Bring on the blue. Moving to the horizon. Bring on the blue. Now you're flying again.
That aqua velva face, so firm, so fit.
Sandstone skin.
That manly scent.
Bring on the blue. Comes that cool blast your feelings. Bring on the blue. As she touches your skin.
It just feels better with an aqua velva man.
The damage in Florida left behind by Hurricane Charley, the storm killing at least 15 people, although, as we've been telling you, that number is expected to grow as hundreds of people are still missing. The winds destroyed or seriously damaged so many buildings and structures, leaving thousands of people without homes to return to. The governor, Jeb Bush, touring the damage. Here's what he said: "Our worst fears have come true." The storm's been downgraded now to a tropical storm as it moves up the East Coast. We've got much more on Charley still ahead, including live reports coming up at the bottom of the hour. On the news now, first to the war on terror, the showdown in Najaf in Iraq, where the latest round of peace talks with Muqtada al-Sadr have broken down. That's after the rebel cleric popped out of the mosque where he's been hiding, denounced the new Iraqi government, and swore to fight to the death. Caroline Shively in a Fox report now from Baghdad.
The Najaf talks are now off. Iraq's national security advisor says negotiations with Muqtada al-Sadr's militia members have broken down. A shaky truce had been in place since Friday after more than a week of hardcore fighting between the Mahdi army and the Iraqi and U.S. forces. By Friday, the U.S. and Iraqi troops had taken complete control over the Valley of the Peace Cemetery, a 5-square-mile graveyard in Najaf. Al-Sadr and about 750 to 1,500 of his men have been holed up in the nearby Imam Ali Mosque. He came out pledging to stay in Najaf until victory or death. He told his supporters across the country to continue their jihad. Thousands of people have streamed into Najaf to support al-Sadr. Many came from the southern city of Diwaniyah. They marched to a police station chanting and carrying posters of al-Sadr. Supporters began heading there from several cities since his spokesman asked Shiites to converge on the city. Violence has also erupted in other parts of the country. The army reports it has killed about 50 fighters near Samarra, a Sunni city about 60 miles north of us in Baghdad. 40 fighters were killed in the southern town of Hilla overnight. Also tonight, it was announced the Iraqi National Conference will continue as planned in the morning, and al-Sadr is invited. In Baghdad, I'm Caroline Shively. Rick, back to you.
Thank you, Caroline. Coming up, he's the highest-ranking public office holder in the country to ever come out of the closet, say he's gay. But is there something more behind Jim McGreevy's stunning announcement? It stood for more than 6 decades, but it came down in a matter of seconds. Coming up, a landmark goes bye-bye. And U.S. swimmer Michael Phelps has the chance to win 7 gold medals in Athens. We'll tell you if he's any closer to that goal. Also, Hurricane Charley leveling homes, knocking down power poles, splitting trees in half, assessing the damage all across Florida as Fox reports tonight.
Save money on gas? How about 10%? Huh? You know, today, that's 18 cents a gallon. So, start saving. Get the Marathon Platinum MasterCard from Chase and receive a huge introductory 10% rebate on all Marathon purchases. Then 5% after that. Here's an application.
Sure.
Thanks. I gotta go. I need it on pump 5.
Today, more than 250,000 doctors and 75 million patients are redefining modern medicine with WebMD. Practices can attend to the business of medicine with new speed and efficiency. Doctors can continue their medical education without leaving their offices. Patients can monitor their own progress. In countless ways, WebMD is helping doctors and patients to reconnect, and in the process, helping to redefine modern medicine. WebMD, modern medicine.
There's nothing new about wanting softer, smoother skin. What's new is how you do it. Introducing Olay In-Shower Body Lotion. Unlike your ordinary body lotion, Olay moisturizers work with the warmth and humidity of your shower. After cleansing, smooth on, rinse off, like a conditioner, for a revolutionary look and feel. This is not your grandmother's body lotion. Look in the body wash aisle for new Olay Moisture Rinse. And love the skin you're in.
One more time to hang out with us?
But dial-up is just too slow? Well then, get Comcast high-speed internet. It's the fastest way to travel the web.
Do everything you need to do faster.
And then you'll have time to watch us Monday through Thursday at 10:30 on Girls Behaving Badly, only on the Oxygen Network.
For the best deal on a new car? Here's the bottom line. Enjoy big savings and selection during Nissan's Bottom Line National Sales Event at Action Nissan, Tennessee's #1 Nissan dealer. Right now, get $2,500 cash back on the Nissan Sentra and Nissan Frontier, or a Nissan Altima starting at $17,990. And choose and save on 70 Nissan Titans on the ground now. Get Action satisfaction during Nissan's Bottom Line National Sales Event. For the best bottom line price, selection, and service, it's Action Nissan, Middle Tennessee's only Circle of Excellence dealer.
All right, take a look at this. This is what is left of the Charlotte County Airport. This is Punta Gorda, Florida. No planes will be flying into or out of this place for a long, long time. Man, look at that. The airport has been declared a total loss. Hurricane Charley destroying or damaging every single plane, flattening a lot of the hangars, too. Those are some of the hangars, used to be anyway. They were built to withstand 75-mile-an-hour winds. Charley's winds just about twice of that. We will have more on the storm. Oh, look at that plane. We'll have more on the storm and where it's headed next. That's coming up in just a few minutes. Well, the other man in the New Jersey governor's sex scandal says that all he had wanted is for Jim McGreevey to take responsibility for his, quote, horrible actions. But at last word, Golan Sipple still has not filed a sexual harassment lawsuit. The lawyer for the former McGreevey aide says the governor is conducting a smear campaign against his client. But McGreevey's lawyer says that since no lawsuit has been filed, that's proof that Sipple doesn't have a real claim. Rebecca Gomez now on a Fox Report for us live from Trenton, New Jersey. Rebecca.
Hi there, Rick. Yeah, aside from calls for Governor McGreevey to step down immediately rather than wait until November, there is now mounting pressure for investigations into other aspects of his administration. For example, was there public misconduct surrounding his hiring of Golan Sipple, his alleged gay lover, and possibly other administration officials? Well, a lot of people here in Trenton, New Jersey think there's more to this than just a sex scandal.
No one understands why the governor is resigning simply because he's gay and he lied to his wife or whatever. None of that makes sense to anyone. And again, all the speculation and all the rumors is that he was trying to, in some way, avoid additional investigations or having to answer other questions.
And no one has all the answers to these vexing questions because the governor has refused to talk publicly since his bombshell announcement on Thursday. Sources, however, tell Fox News that a federal investigation is underway into whether Governor McGreevey tried to gather hush money to keep Sipple from going public with their alleged affair. On the flip side, the governor has called for an investigation into Sipple allegedly blackmailing him. So at this point, it's still a case of he said, he said. Now, all of this could have a much broader impact. If there is a special election for governor here, it could draw more New Jerseyans to vote in the presidential election. And we are also hearing that voters may stage some demonstrations next week here in front of the State House, either in support of or against Governor McGreevey. Live in Trenton, New Jersey, Rebecca Gomez, Fox News. Rick?
All right, Rebecca, thank you very much. Well, today marks a very dark anniversary in American history, literally dark. 1 year, a big chunk of the Midwest and the Northeast U.S. lost power. It was the biggest outage ever in this country. 8 states and 2 provinces in Canada had no electricity for almost 2 days, affecting as many as 50 million people, causing at least $6 billion in lost business and damages. And it all started when a utility in Ohio lost control of its lines and generators. Investigators say too many power companies were using inadequate equipment and employees were not properly trained to respond to emergency situations. And now from our newsrooms coast to coast, Fox reports across America. Arizona, a school bus going off the road in surprise and ending up on its side in an irrigation ditch. The crash injuring the driver and at least 10 high school students. Investigators say some of the kids have been shouting at the driver to change the radio station. He got distracted and lost control of his bus. Illinois, 61 years gone in mere seconds. General Motors imploding its last remaining foundry in Tilton. It was built in 1943 to support the war effort. At its height, the GM plant employed 2,400 workers. Wisconsin, the military turning away a former decorated Marine trying to re-enlist. It's because he has 5 tattoos on his arms. Marine policy says 4 tattoos are the limit. The husband and father of 2 says the artwork honors friends, family, and the military, and he's appealing the decision. Arizona, monsoon season triggering another round of thunderstorms and kicking up dust all across the Phoenix Valley. Folks running for cover. The storms didn't cause any major damage. And that's a Fox Watch across America. Coming up on the Fox Report, Hurricane Charley hit Florida with 145-mile-per-hour winds. A 15-foot storm surge devastating Fort Myers, Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte. In some areas, every house was damaged to some extent, with 60% suffering major damage. Shepard Smith is live on the scene. We'll check in with him in a minute. Also, the damage is estimated at $15 billion. The money here. That number should go up as well. How fast will Florida get the federal help, and what will it mean for local businesses? Charley, as we told you, now a tropical storm, but there is still the potential for a lot of damage, a lot of danger for people up and down the eastern seaboard. Charley's churning, moving through North Carolina, as Fox reports tonight.
Circuit City's a place for all your new school gear. Come in today and save $270 on this compact desktop computer package with an Intel Celeron D processor, Samsung 17-inch flat screen monitor, HP color printer, and DVD CDRW combo drive. Just $449.99 after mail-in rebates. And Circuit City's a place for the hottest video games, too. You'll get a $10 gift card instantly when you pick up Madden NFL 2005. Only at Circuit City.
I don't know what to do, Doc. I keep losing home loans to Ditech.com.
I see.
Customers apply online or by phone 24/7. They never come to the bank anymore. Even my mom got a loan from Ditech.
Very interesting. Need cash to pay off bills? Get a second mortgage with a no closing cost option from Ditech.com.
So what do you think, Doc?
I think you just lost another loan to Ditech. Ditech.com. 1-800-71-FIXED.
Millions of good jobs lost to plant closures and outsourcing. Yet President Bush protects tax breaks favoring corporations that move their headquarters overseas. America can do better. John Kerry's plan? End job-killing tax loopholes and provide incentives to companies who create good jobs here. Because John Kerry believes we should export American products, not American jobs. The Democratic National Committee is responsible for the content of this advertisement.
From Sharper Image, the patented Ionic Breeze Quadra cleans and circulates air with no fans, no filters, and is totally silent. It's even earned the seal of the Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America. The Ionic Breeze removes allergens such as pollen, animal dander, also airborne bacteria, viruses, and mold. It powers through smoke and offensive odors and can leave your house smelling fresh and clean. Maintenance is easy. Just pull out the collection grid, wipe it off with a cloth or sponge, and slip it back in. It's that simple. Through this special offer, Sharper Image will give you a bathroom Ionic Breeze. It helps even dirty bathrooms smell fresh and clean 24 hours a day. The $69 bathroom Ionic Breeze is your free gift with your order. Call now and get a free 5-year replacement guarantee and ask about free shipping.
Call 1-800-296-6944. That's 1-800-296-6944.
America's leading news network, this is the Fox Report. It's the bottom of the hour. Here are your headlines. U.S. tanks and armored vehicles poised for yet another assault on enemy fighters in Najaf in Iraq. This after talks to end the violence with Muqtada al-Sadr's militia broke down. The government's chief negotiator called the discussions, quote, fruitless. The leftovers of Hurricane Charley moving through eastern North Carolina tonight. The system is now a tropical storm, and so far, folks in the Carolinas are getting hit with rain and power outages, too. Winds topping out at about 70 miles per hour. But the worst of Charley hit Florida. The storm slamming into Charlotte County as a powerful Category 4 hurricane. And tonight, we know at least 15 people are dead. Hundreds more are missing, and the cleanup, well, that's only just beginning. Shepard Smith with a Fox Report now live from Punta Gorda, Florida. Shep.
Rick, they're still assessing the damage here along the southwest Florida coast, and especially here in Charlotte County. The worst hit of it all, they thought Tampa, and as we now know, it came straight up right into the harbor here, Charlotte Harbor, before heading toward Orlando and over to Daytona Beach. We got here midday today and flew into the regional airport down in Fort Myers, headed about 40 minutes up the interstate, got off, and immediately you could tell this was the spot. That's I-75 over there, the main north-south thoroughfare in southwest Florida, and the first exit in Punta Gorda, and you can see how bad it really is. A gas station here, a McDonald's over there, the Waffle House here, over here these gas station and a Pizza Hut. It's all messed up. There's no power anywhere. Emergency vehicles are all round and about, and lots of workers. That's the main challenge right over there. That building with the people on top was a days in, and what they're trying to do is get boards and plastic on top so that whatever is salvageable inside that business isn't lost in the hours ahead. It's going to rain. It's just a matter of when. Drive through the streets of Punta Gorda and you realize this town certainly got spanked. The roofs are off at the gas stations. The power lines and traffic signals are hanging low. There is no electricity here yet. But look here. Some of the cars in the parking lot did survive. But if the buildings are made of metal, well, they didn't fare so well. And certainly not from the sky. You can see in the many mobile home parks of the Charlotte County area, devastation. These buildings aren't made to survive a Category 4 storm, certainly not the maximum gust recorded here at 126 miles an hour. That's why the residents in these areas especially were warned, get out and get out early. Most did. Everyone did not. And at this point, we're still waiting to hear exactly how many people may have been lost in this storm here in Charlotte County. We know 5 throughout southwest Florida, 15 across the state total. We're hoping that the numbers don't go up largely, but at this point, that's just a hope. One other thing, school started here on Monday. We were just talking to some students who got, well, yesterday off, and they expect to get the rest of the week, or next week, that is, because much of the school was damaged. They're now trying to figure out where kids are going to go back and how they're going to get their school in. Lots to do here, but the human toll first, and they're working on that even as we speak, Rick.
Hey, Shep, yesterday all we were talking about was Tampa. When's it going to hit Tampa? When's it going to hit that area in Tampa? I know a lot of people from Tampa actually probably got out of town and maybe even headed down to Punta Gorda to get out of the way, only to get hit by the storm. How much was it a problem that the people of that area were expecting the storm to hit someplace else?
Well, it was a big problem. I mean, we've talked to people in these neighborhoods who said, we normally leave, but this was just going to be a Category 1, a Category 2 storm, and it was going up to Tampa anyway. And by the time at 3:30 in the afternoon when they told us, well, it's not a Category 2 and it's not going to Tampa, it's coming here, there was really not much they could do. Some of them saying, you know, what do we do? Go out and get on the interstate and then get trapped there? So a lot of people rode it out, and those stories you'll be hearing in the days to come. My guess is the ones who rode out this one won't ride out another one.
I'll bet you're right about that. Shep Smith in Punta Gorda. Shepard, thank you very much, my friend. Now for a look at where Tropical Storm Charley is headed next. Foxcaster Janice Dean with the Fox Report now, live from the Fox Weather Center. There you are.
Hi, Rick. How you doing? All right. We've been tracking this for the last 48 hours, even longer, actually. I got something to show you in just a sec. But first of all, Tropical Storm Charley. He's still moving 29 miles per hour north-northeast. Starting off, we saw South Carolina and right now in the Chesapeake Bay, west of Norfolk, Virginia. And we think moving very close to New York, you should start to feel some of those gusty winds and the outer bands of rain. We could see 2, 3, 4 inches of more rain by the time this is said and done. But again, Charley is moving very quickly, so hopefully not a huge rain event, but you never know with this guy because he certainly presented some problems over the past couple of days. Here's where we still have the potential for severe weather. Of course, with these tropical storms, with these hurricanes, we have the possibility for very gusty winds up to 50 to 60 mile per hour winds. Of course, a wall of rain with this one. And we could also see the potential for tornadoes. We saw dozens of tornadoes as Charley moved through Florida. Not ruling them out right now, that's for sure. All up the East Coast into Massachusetts. And looky here, look at what we are following right now. Another tropical depression turned tropical storm. Gee, it's moving, wow, the Antilles into Jamaica and possibly into Cuba. Does this look familiar to you? Tropical Storm Earl is due to be a Hurricane Earl anytime soon by Monday at 2 p.m. with 75 mile per hour winds moving towards Cuba, and then eventually it could go into the Gulf Coast, and that is exactly where we saw Charley go. So this is going to be a very busy season in tropical storm land. Rick, back to you.
Janice Dean at the Weather Center. Janice, thank you very much. President Bush going to Florida tomorrow to see the damage from Hurricane Charley with his own 2 eyes. Campaigning in Iowa today, the president said he wants people who've been affected by the storm to know their government is taking action and fast. James Rosen with the Fox Report now from Sioux City, Iowa.
Rick, first thing tomorrow, that's when President Bush is going to be heading down to Florida to inspect the devastation inflicted by Hurricane Charley. That announcement coming today from White House Press Secretary Scott McClellan aboard Air Force One, which took the president from Seattle to Sioux City, Iowa for a campaign rally. McClellan said the president wants to take a first-hand look at the damage from Charley and make sure that people who have been affected by the hurricane are getting the assistance they need. Which cities in Florida the president will visit was not specified, but the president will fly into Tampa, and the White House emphasized his visit will not interfere with relief efforts. The president's opponent, Democratic presidential nominee John Kerry, will not be going to Florida. The Kerry campaign says the candidate's presence would divert resources from affected cities at a crucial time. President Bush has already declared Florida a federal disaster area and promised his brother, the Florida governor, Jeb Bush, all the federal assistance his state needs. Today at the campaign rally, the president expressed solidarity with Charley's victims.
Tomorrow I'm going to travel down to Florida to visit with those whose lives have been hurt by Hurricane Charley. Just want them to know that our federal government is responding quickly. We have got aid stations in place. FEMA federal officials are on the ground working with state and local officials. Many lives have been affected by this hurricane, and I know you join me in sending our prayers to those people who look for solace and help.
In the 1992 campaign, President Bush's father, George H.W. Bush, faced criticism that he didn't respond quickly enough when Hurricane Andrew struck Florida. However, that President Bush went on to win the state. Rick?
James Rosen, thank you. It's impossible to know yet just how much damage Hurricane Charley has inflicted on the economy, the local economy, the state economy, the national economy, too. Before the storm hit, Governor Jeb Bush predicted Charley could cause $15 billion in damage. But it'll be months before Charley's impact is fully known, with all the medical bills, the emergency overtime, the cost of rebuilding, the business which was lost across the country. Even Disney World shut down for a little while. Fox business contributor Stuart Varney now with the Fox Report from America's Newsroom.
Thanks, Rick. Up and down the eastern seaboard, Charley has disrupted business, and it is likely to hurt the performance of the whole economy. Property insurers will be shelling out billions for damage claims. Premiums are likely to go up. But the economic impact is far broader. The travel industry takes a hit with cancelled vacations, airline shutdowns, and driving restrictions. Retailing takes a downturn. Mall traffic simply dries up in storm warnings. As the millions of people in the storm's path hunker down, consumption falls, money is not spent. Charley's disruption of business in such a large and densely populated region of the country will take some steam out of the economy, at least in the current quarter. It will not be until October that we find out how big an impact Charley has on the economy in the July to September period, and those numbers will be released just weeks before the presidential election. Back to you, Rick.
All right, Stuart, thank you very much. Coming up, President Bush planning some major changes to the military. Coming up, what it means to the men and women in our armed forces and for our presence overseas. This stuntman is used to inching his way along a pole thousands of feet above the ground, but this time he does it a little differently. And trying to figure out just how much damage Charley left behind. We've been talking about that. The first estimates, as we told you, $15 billion worth. Well, now there's talk of $20 billion worth of damage. Fox reports live from Florida.
Next time you start on your way, think about the gasoline you choose. Introducing Shell V-Power, our new premium grade gasoline. It's our most advanced fuel ever. With more than 5 times the required cleaning agents, it's specially formulated to actively clean your engine as you drive. You have enough to deal with out there. Your gasoline can make a difference if it's new Shell V-Power.
I started with Walmart 18 years ago as an unloader and receiving.
I started in the baby department, and I am store manager today.
Walmart is a career. It's not just a job. Good quality of life, good educational opportunities for my children.
We never imagined that we would be doing what we're doing today. Now, our son John has started at Walmart.
He wants to be a pharmacist.
No one knows better than we do that he has a bright future. We truly are living the American dream. It's out there, and it's at Walmart.
Can you tell me about the house on Court Street?
I could, but shouldn't we wait for your husband?
I'm not married.
I'm sorry, but hey, don't you think it's a little too much house for you?
Not working with a Century 21 agent? Pledge point number 2. Century 21 agents respect you and your needs.
How about one of these nice little townhouses? Girls love these.
Just one of the ways to help reduce the stress of buying real estate. Century 21, real estate for your world.
There's nowhere it can hide that we can't find it. Nowhere it can go that we can't get it out. It's what's made us the leader in water cleanup and restoration. And why, when water damage takes control of your life,
I can't believe you guys are here already.
we help you take it back. ServPro, fire and water cleanup and restoration, like it never even happened.
Well, the 2004 Olympic Games in Athens officially underway. Thousands of people have packed into the main stadium, the Aquatic Center, for the first full day of competition. But we're learning today that 2 of Greece's star sprinters will not be competing. They were suspended from the Games after missing mandatory drug tests. Well, the whole story has stunned the host nation and put a dent in national pride. Meantime, the American swimmer Michael Phelps, remember that name, he's proving that he was worth the hype. He became the first American to win a gold medal at the Games, setting a new world record in the 400-meter individual medley. Also, the basketball preliminaries began today, in Team USA facing some tough competition. It's no dream team like back in '92 when some of the best players who ever lived came together to play on one team at the Olympic Games. Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, Karl Malone, more and more. In every Olympics since, the U.S. has tried to recreate that magic, but it's really never been the same. Dana Lewis in a Fox Report now from Athens.
Hi, Rick. What was once known as the American Dream Team, and now it's just known as the USA's basketball team, held its first big open practice in Athens today. We were able to attend, talk to some of the players. A lot of them saying they just wish they had more time to practice together before their first big game, which is already tomorrow. At the American College of Greece, an hour-long men's basketball practice behind closed doors. Only then were cameras allowed inside. This is the team that had so much trouble attracting the biggest NBA stars to play. Many bowed out, citing fears of injury or security concerns. But there are still some big names. Philadelphia 76ers Allen Iverson on people's fear of terrorism at these games.
It's been great so far. We had no problems, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the time here. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not concerned about anything. I'm just looking forward to trying to win a gold medal.
Cleveland Cavaliers center Carlos Boozer says while some U.S. players bowed out because of injury, he reasons you can injure yourself just as easily in a game of pickup at home as at the Olympics.
You don't play any different. No, I could go out there and give it my all. I mean, I'm playing for my country. It's one of the rare opportunities you get a chance to wear USA across your chest.
Reacting to a drug scandal that has rocked the Greek track and field team, Coach Larry Brown says his players realize they're not just playing for home teams, they're representing their country. As for those who cheat in sport,
I don't like the message it sends to young people. I always felt if you try hard and you prepare, you're going to have great results. And that's the thing that I think we all should understand.
And Rick, these two Greek athletes, the two sprinters who are at the focus of Greece's biggest doping scandal ever, have been suspended from the games by the Greek Olympic Committee. Their fate is in the hands of the International Olympic Committee, which will hold a disciplinary hearing against the two Greek sprinters on Monday. Rick?
Dana Lewis, thank you. Flooding in India and some crazy guy with a death wish in the UK. Get ready to go around the world in 80 seconds. India. Intense floods have killed more than 30 people and forced thousands from their homes over the past couple of days. The monsoon rains continue to fall, triggering landslides and collapsing homes. Overall, more than 70,000 people have moved into relief camps on higher ground. France. President Jacques Chirac welcoming Pope John Paul II, the Pope making a pilgrimage to a cliffside shrine of the Virgin Mary, along with about 300,000 of the faithful. He took a sip of water from a spring beneath the shrine. The water is believed to have miraculous healing powers. Taiwan. Pilots showing off their skills at the 2004 Air Show, Air Force Day on the island nation. The military putting its international arsenal on display. Jets made in the U.S., France, and Russia lining up and taking off while tourists get the whole thing on film. England. A daredevil tightrope walker strapped on a blindfold and a parachute and then scurried across a 19-foot metal pole between two hot air balloons 4,000 feet in the air. And he's done it before. This guy holds the world record for highest tightrope walk at 18,800 feet. And that's a vertigo wrap on this Fox trip around the world in 80 seconds. Coming up, the world has changed a lot since the Cold War ended, and now so too is America's global military presence. Fox reports from Washington. And it didn't take long for Hurricane Charley to steamroll through Florida, but it's going to take years to fix all the damage it's caused. Fox reports live from Punta Gorda, Florida, coming up.
It's corn that's been pulverized and pressed into flakes. I call them corn flakes. Really quite delicious.
You never know when a golden opportunity will come your way, like the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event. Get your favorite Lexus vehicle at an incredible price.
Next, they'll be bottling water.
See your Lexus dealer.
Study the savings. It all adds up when Velasas and Comcast bring you back-to-school savings on your favorite brands. Look in your newspaper on Sunday, August 15th for money-saving offers on these fine products. You can also find important back-to-school tips and resources from the National PTA at pta.org/BTS. Molasses, proud to bring you value each week. Carb options, for use as part of a low-carb diet. Taste you can count on. Available at a store near you.
Looking for the best deal on a new car? Here's the bottom line. Enjoy big savings and selection during Nissan's Bottom Line National Sales Event at Action Nissan, Tennessee's #1 Nissan dealer. Right now, get $2,500 cash back on the Nissan Sentra and Nissan Frontier, or a Nissan Altima starting at $17,990. And choose and save on 70 Nissan Titans on the ground now. Get action satisfaction during Nissan's Bottom Line National Sales Event. For the best bottom line price, selection, and service, it's Action Nissan, Middle Tennessee's only Circle of Excellence dealer.
Ever notice when you're ready to watch a movie, something comes up? That's why I have Comcast Digital Cable with Stars on Demand. I get over 100 great movies a month. Like Mona Lisa's Smile, Lost in Translation, Spy Kids 3, and I can start and stop them whenever I want. Now I can watch a whole movie without missing a thing.
Upgrade to Comcast Digital Cable and Stars for only $5.99 more a month. Call 1-877-COMCAST.
At Steak and Shake, we serve old-fashioned milkshakes. They're hand-dipped, made with real milk, and topped with whipped cream and a cherry. Other places...
If you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all.
Now we'll pour any two of your favorite milkshakes into a single glass, thereby raising the thorny philosophical question, is the glass half chocolate or half banana? Introducing new side-by-side milkshakes.
Steak and Shake.
Area in the wake of Hurricane Charley. More than a dozen people now confirmed dead from this storm. That number is expected. It will be going up. One man says he tried to ride out the storm in his mobile home, but his house just ripped apart. His microwave, he says, hit him in the head. His refrigerator landed on top of him. He actually survived, but a lot of people, many people, did not. We'll have another live report from Shepard Smith, who was on the ground in Florida. That report is coming up. But first, President Bush getting ready to announce a major shift in U.S. troop assignments overseas. The military wants to reposition tens of thousands of servicemen and women to focus on new threats. Some could be headed out of South Korea and Germany. Others could be headed home. The president set to give the details on Monday. Steve Santani, Fox Report, now live from our Washington newsroom. Steve.
Well, Rick, it is a major realignment of troops reflecting new realities in the world, the end of the Cold War and the fight against terrorism. An estimated 70,000 U.S. troops overseas will be sent back to the U.S. in the first major redeployment of forces since the fall of the Soviet Union. 2/3 of those troops will be moved out of bases in Germany, where the U.S. has had a continuing presence since the end of World War II. While most will be sent back to bases in the States, others will be sent to Eastern Europe, to new NATO allies like Poland and Bulgaria. Within a few years, as many as 100,000 troops could be affected. President Bush plans to announce the troop realignment during a speech Monday before members of the Veterans of Foreign Wars in Cincinnati. The military shuffle will also affect U.S. forces in Korea and Japan. About 30,000 troops now based in East Asia could be sent to the U.S., while others are moved to Eastern Europe. The plan reportedly calls for setting up transit bases in Eastern Europe that can be used to help move troops from the States to trouble spots in the Middle East or North Africa. Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld is overseas this weekend, meeting with Russia's defense minister in St. Petersburg, Russia, and made no comment on the plan. The Pentagon's waiting until after the president's speech Monday to give any further details, but it's all part of an ongoing Pentagon effort to help make the military more mobile. The plan may also involve basing more warplanes and weaponry overseas to make up for the smaller number of troops there. Now back to you, Rick.
Steve Santani live in Washington. Thank you, Steve. More than 1 million people without power in Florida tonight. Charlotte County's Director of Emergency Management says thousands upon thousands of people have lost their homes. Punta Gorda in Charlotte County suffered a direct hit. Shepard Smith live on the scene when the Fox Report comes right back.
I thought I had more time. Okay, yeah, I can make it. Bye.
Pay 10 bills in under 3 minutes. Online. Free. With our free checking. From Bank of America. Higher standards.
Sometime between Friday's midnight dip and breakfast on Sunday, the moment may be right, and you can be ready with Cialis. Cialis is the only erectile dysfunction tablet clinically proven to both work fast and work up to 36 hours. 36 hours to respond to your partner when the moment is right. Cialis is only for men healthy enough for sexual activity. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, or certain alpha blockers for prostate problems, or high blood pressure, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Don't drink alcohol in excess with Cialis. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. Erections lasting longer than 4 hours, though rare, require immediate medical help. Discuss your health status with your doctor and ask if a free sample of Cialis is right for you. 36 hours, or Friday to Sunday. Cialis. When the moment is right, you can be ready.
Sunday, it's the hottest month of the year, and we reveal the stocks that could catch fire. Bulls and bears, then terror alerts, the Olympics, and the RNC. Find out why these 3 events could deep six your investments. Cavuto on business. And overpaying for the war on terror, the controversial debate on Forbes on Fox. Plus, life, liberty, and universal health care. A good idea or bad medicine for Wall Street? Cashing in. It's a special edition of the Cost of Freedom Business Club. The most watched, most trusted name in cable news. Fox News Channel.
This was a beautiful place to live, and the governor says that when the rebuilding is done, it will be even more beautiful than it was. Many homes along the water in Charlotte County, Florida, damaged or destroyed by Hurricane Charley. Lazy days at the beach will be replaced with weeks and weeks of hard work. Let's check in once again with Shepard Smith, who's live on the ground in Punta Gorda, Florida. And Shepard, has the cleanup already begun, or is it too soon for that?
Man, they're good at it because they started cleaning up within, it seemed like just a couple of hours apparently after the rain stopped. There were a number of streets that were impassable, especially in downtown Punta Gorda and right across the bridge over Charlotte Harbor in Port Charlotte, and they had the chainsaws out and cleared the streets away. By this morning, they were already putting visqueen and sheets of plastic on roofs and tacking those down so that they could save what was inside those buildings. So the cleanup is well underway, Rick, and it's amazing how much they've been able to accomplish here already. If you look back here, there's still a bunch of metal in the streets and there are trees around and pieces of plywood, but you can get around everywhere. And some neighborhoods, we saw people out with big plastic bags today already picking up leaves from the street. It was like a fall day in the Northeast. They're at it. I think a lot of them are determined, Rick, to get things back and going here.
Well, you can't blame them for that. You know, we know that the Red Cross does such a great job in coming out and helping out in these situations, and they're bringing water and they're bringing ice and they're going to be bringing temporary shelter for people. This might seem like a stupid question, Shep, but if there is no electricity there in that part of Florida, how do they get the word out to people to tell them where to go to get the help they need?
Radio. You know, the local television stations are broadcasting on the radio. There's not much music on the radio anymore. They're all simulcasting, and they tell you where the Red Cross stations are and what corners you can go to. In a lot of cases, the street signs are still up, so even if you're not very familiar with the area, you can find them. They have ice locations, and they were just bringing truckloads of porta potties in here because think about that. They're having to boil their water to drink it. A lot of the sewage systems aren't working, so they're bringing in porta johns to put all over town, and that's happened really fast.
You're on a main strip there in Punta Gorda, and I got to say, the buildings behind you, they look pretty good, like they weathered this okay.
They really do. And, Rick, we're not, I don't know, half a mile, maybe less than that from the water, which is exactly where the storm came through. And even right here, the windows held up. These were never boarded. They just held up throughout. It's not the case everywhere, and there's some extreme damage in some places. But the reason for that is, they're telling us, is this eye was so small. You remember Hurricane Andrew, the eye was only about 12 or 13 miles wide. This was half that. So the worst of the winds were in a concentrated little area. And, Rick, the saddest thing of all is that that concentrated eye wall came through in many cases those prefabricated buildings and motor home parks, and those are the spots where the worst of the news is. And I guess it's probably a good thing that we don't know the extent of the human loss in those areas, because there's a sense of rebuilding now, and to have that sort of news dropped on you in the first day would be mighty tough to swallow.
Shepard Smith on the ground there, working late into the night last night, getting on a plane early this morning, and getting out to Florida. Shep, thank you very much. All right, now you know the news. As Fox reports this Saturday, a busy one, August 14th, 2004. Still ahead, the most powerful prime time in all of cable news. First up, Heartland with John Kasich. Then at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, the Big Story Weekend Edition with Rita Cosby. And then At Large with Geraldo Rivera at 10 Eastern. And then tomorrow, catch a special edition of Studio B with Shepard Smith. Shepard, once again, live in Florida with the very latest on the aftermath and the cleanup of Hurricane Charley. I'm Rick Fulbaum in New York. Thanks so much for joining us. Jane Skinner will be here tomorrow night. Heartland with John Kasich begins right now. Heather Nauert is in tonight for John. Good to see you, Heather. What have you got?
Hi there, Rick. Well, thanks, Rick. Tonight on Heartland, at least 15 people dead, thousands homeless. We'll go live to the site of one of the deadliest hurricanes in a century. We'll track where it's headed next. Then, will the Amber and Scott Peterson tapes convince the jury that Peterson is guilty? A former juror on the trial tells us what he thinks. Plus, why is a former friend